The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Thursday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartwig with you. And we go the Greenwood Chevrolet goes the extra mile for you. We thank them for their constant support and sponsorship of this show and everything that we're able to do on YSN. Gonna have a great show for you today. We're gonna lead things off with an interview. We have someone joining us from Jackson Milton. It is their senior Billy Sloan. We'll get him on. Billy, we lost your camera.
Oh. Am I here?
I can hear you. Can't see you.
Huh. I don't know particularly why. Says I'm here. I do not know.
Hey, 'cause we saw you in the pre-show too, so your camera was definitely up.
Yeah, nothing. I don't know why. Nothing's changed.
So I don't. We'll try to get you on, and we'll try to fix those technical difficulties. Maybe if Billy can just exit out and then re-enter in, maybe it'll reboot for him. But we're gonna have an interview with him tomorrow. We're gonna have an interview with his coach. So it's going to be a Jackson Mountain baseball to kind of end out the week. We also have great recaps of last night's action and this morning's action, because we've had a couple of finals come in from Myrtle Beach, and we'll also preview the night like we do on Running Point every day. And we're going to have a fun time for you on this beautiful, absolutely beautiful Thursday afternoon. Man, the skies are clear, and we have a day that's, I think, even warmer than yesterday. And we are being blessed by Mother Nature with extremely good weather. And now I think we have Billy Sloan. The camera's up. We can see your face, which is what everybody wants to see. Billy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, so senior year in Jackson Milton, you've been doing this for a long time on the varsity level. It seems like you're a 6-year senior with the impact that you've been able to make on this program, but it is your last season. What's it like going through it and trying to kind of deal with all the emotions of all the last times that senior year can bring?
It hasn't really quite hit me yet. I'm just more focused on just winning. I haven't really thought about that this is it. I'm just more focused on the team, to be honest.
How have you been able to do that? Because a lot of seniors we bring on, it's in that back of their head and it's hard to shake. So what kind of things were you able to do to kind of not even think about it and not let it hit you at all? And just like you said, just focus on winning.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I know this isn't the end for baseball for me, but I've never really thought about me in it. I've just thought about the team, and I just want to win. Just going as far as we can. That's all it's always ever been about.
Like you said, not the end in baseball. You have committed. You committed earlier in the winter. I don't want to take this moment away from you. So for those people that didn't know or didn't see, why don't you tell people where you'll be playing baseball in your career after Jackson Milton?
Yeah, I committed to the University of Montevallo down in Alabama, and Coach Rose got a word from them, and I went down there on a visit. I absolutely loved it there. I loved the guys. I loved the coaches. And I thought, man, this is where I want to be. So I decided to commit there, and hopefully it was the good decision. I think it will be.
Now, Alabama is obviously a long way away from home. Was that a part of your process? Did you want to try to travel out of state and down south, or were you just kind of open to anywhere?
I was open to anywhere. If someone wanted me to go play baseball for them, it was never without, I'd go play anywhere just to continue, really.
What was it about this place and this school and this coaching staff and this program that made you really make it your final choice and make you know that this is where you had to be?
Yeah, it's down there. It's kind of like a family to them. When he was talking about the roster they actually have 18 seniors. And in the age where a ton of guys go in the transfer portal and always moving around, they didn't lose a single guy to that. And that just goes to show how good of a coaching staff there are and how much of a family it really is down there. And that's something I want to be a part of.
The other thing about Alabama, we said it's very far away. That means that you're going to be like literally out of the nest. I mean, a lot of people go live in college. You're way out of the nest. What are some things that excites you about being not just, out of the household, but literally like in a whole different time zone?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a fresh start. Everything's new, everything's different, and it's just something, get out of your comfort zone. You only get an opportunity to go to college once, and you might as well make the most of it.
When you made that decision that you were going to commit, who was the first person you had to tell, like, hey, I made this decision, I am going here to Alabama to play baseball?
It was definitely my dad, because we flew down there, we had the visit, and we were still in the airport getting ready to head back home. And I was like, I think this is the place I wanted to be. So, of course, I had to come back and tell him about the rest of my family. But it was definitely my dad.
When you think about the things you want to study down there and your career that you want to kind of pursue when baseball eventually goes away, what are you looking on as far as the career path?
I want to do physical therapy. That's something I've been interested in. I could stay, with athletics and athletic training, but I'm going to study exercise science and become a physical therapist.
What drew you to that? What kind of things made you interested in following that career path?
When I played football my junior year, I actually dislocated my shoulder on multiple occasions throughout the season. So after the fact, I had to go get physical therapy. And, through my own physical therapy, I realized it's something I was interested in and kind of had a general understanding of, and I thought I would enjoy it.
I want to talk about that experience because obviously football is a game where you can have multiple different kind of injuries, but the shoulder is pretty important to your baseball career as well. When you were going through that, obviously you had to be thinking about baseball and how that would affect your baseball career. What were some of the things that were going through your head in that football season when you, like you said, not just once, but multiple times dislocating your shoulder?
Well, it really hit me after the season when they told me kind of how, what the damage it was to my shoulder. Luckily, it was my left shoulder, not my throwing shoulder. But they said that if I probably dislocated it one or two more times, that they were going to do surgery and I was going to miss my baseball season. So I decided that, the risk is too much and I didn't want to miss this. So I decided that I wasn't going to play my senior season, and I definitely enjoyed the experience, but definitely more baseball.
We know how much of a brotherhood football is, so I know how much of a hard decision that would be to leave those guys your senior year. But to do it, it means you had to love the sport of baseball enough to make that decision. So my question to you is, what makes you love this sport so much that you're able to make that decision and focus solely on what you can do for the baseball team?
It's made so many relationships for me. I've met majority of my friends have been through baseball, and I have so many memories on the field and off the field. Travel ball and hotel rooms, and hanging out around the pool with the guys, and it's something I could never leave and just forget about, really.
One way I would describe this Jackson Milton baseball team already this season is just gritty. We've seen them win in multiple different ways. You guys have won pitchers duels. You guys have won offensive slugfest. You've proven that you can win different styles of baseball. What is it do you think about this dugout and about the teammates you have around you that they're able to adjust to a style of baseball and win whatever way they have to?
It's just we play loose. We don't play uptight. We don't get worried about much. We're just out there always trying to do our best. And we always feel that no matter who we're playing or what the situation is, we always have a shot to win, and that's kind of how we've been playing.
I want to talk about this week because we came in and you and McDonald were tied at the top of the MVAC. And a lot of people say, in those kind of series, it's the game one that matters the most. McDonald took game one at your place 4-1. You were able to go on the road and win to split the series in McDonald the next day. What were some of the adjustments that you guys made from day one to day two to be able to go on the road and beat McDonald after they beat you on Monday?
Honestly, we didn't make much adjustments. The talk was after the loss at home was that we kind of gave that game away, and it really left a sour taste in our mouths. So we went home, we slept on that, we woke up the next day, and we were ready to go. And, when we got there, the feeling in the dugout was that we were not going to give this game away again. And that's what happened. We ended up winning, and it was huge.
Is there a little bit of added juice playing on the road for you as an athlete, or do you like playing at home a little bit more?
It's indifferent to me, really. I obviously love playing at home with the home crowd, and that's where my family could come out. But home away, it's not like we're getting big crowds where it's hostile. So I'm indifferent.
You've played a lot of baseball. What's been your favorite field to play at outside of Jackson Milton's home field? That one can't be an answer. It's too obvious.
Shoot. I don't really know. I would definitely say, I like playing at Ysn. Ysn's always a good time. We had a lot of games at Ysn last year. I think we had more games at Ysn than we did at home due to the weather. So I would definitely say Ysn, that atmosphere, kind of the history there. So, yeah, Ysn.
One of the things I have to ask also about playing in Alabama next year, and you talked about the weather. It's a perfect segue. I mean, you're going to be able to play baseball almost year-round in Alabama. There's not really a winter down there.
Mm-hmm.
What's that going to be like for you to be able to really be in a warm weather spot where baseball could be more focused on as far as outside baseball almost year-round?
I can't wait. It's something I think about all the time. Obviously I think about baseball all the time, and it's something I can now do all the time. Up here you're kind of restricted to the weather and the winter and the cold conditions, but down there that's winters when it's actually most ideal. That's when it's kind of like in the low 70s. It's perfect. So I can't wait.
Now, I know there were a lot of more important factors in that decision that you already talked about, but was that a part of it, like saying that down here in the South, I can play baseball year round and I can really put full focus on baseball throughout the winter months of the calendar?
Yeah, that definitely weighed in on the decision. And, outside of baseball, it's just nice to be in warm weather. I think we can all agree on that. And, it gave me an opportunity to enjoy it year round, so I couldn't pass that up either.
You're in your last few months of high school here at Jackson Milton. What kind of, are you fighting senioritis at all? I mean, are you trying to stay focused in the classroom? What's that feeling like knowing that you're so close to graduation, but you're not there yet as far as your schoolwork?
Yeah, I'm definitely fighting a little bit of senioritis. It's, it just feels monotonous at some points, but, I've been doing it we've all been doing it for so long that you just kind of get used to it and just, might as well finish it out so close to the end.
A lot of spring sport athletes on their senior year tell us that the season actually keeps them away from that senioritis because they're so focused on their baseball, their softball, whatever it may be. Do you feel that too, where you're thinking like baseball is kind of keeping you on track for the last few months of your senior year?
Yeah, it kind of helps you distract you from the schoolwork a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely helped, I would say.
What are you going to miss the most about being a part of this Jackson Milton school and being able to represent the Blue Jays and everything that the school represents?
It's just everyone knows everybody there, and you always know what's going on with everyone. You don't ever get too out of touch with anyone because it's just smaller school. So, it's like our own little community, and, everyone knows everyone. So I'm definitely going to miss, a lot of the people there because I've known them my whole lives.
They say that the testament to a senior is what kind of footprint they leave on the program when they leave. So if we ask your teammates next year that are still with the program what kind of legacy or what they learned from being your teammate, what would you hope the answer would be from them?
I hope they learn how to go about it the right way. I hope they learn that just gritty attitude and just always wanting to be there, just always wanting to practice, always wanting to get better. I hope they just learned how to go about it the right way. I hope that's what I instilled.
You have played a lot of baseball. You still play a lot of baseball. And that comes with time management. That comes with being able to keep yourself from being gassed out. What kind of things do you do to make sure that you're not overextending yourself with how much you work at the sport?
I have to make sure to go to bed early. I get done, come home, take care of myself, make sure I get enough sleep so I'm ready to do it again the next day. So just going to bed.
So you are not a night owl.
On the weekends I am. On the weekends.
So what are your favorite things to do outside of baseball when your mind does need a break from the sport and you need to kind of unwind a little bit?
I like golfing. I really like golfing. I picked that up as a fall sport since I didn't play football. I really enjoyed that. Like hanging out with friends. I like online games, probably the usual teenage guy stuff.
One of the things about golf is, man, you have to be such a mentally strong, person to be able to do it because, it's just you out there and there's no one to help you. How much does that help the baseball side? Obviously probably two of the most mentally straining sports that you can play. Failure is so apparent in both of them. How much did golf kind of raise your mental strength to be able to handle the ups and downs of baseball?
It really helped because when I first started, I honestly stunk. And by the end of it, I got much better. And, it's another sport where, you're always working on a swing. So I was able to kind of translate that to baseball and vice versa. So I really enjoyed it. And I definitely think it helped me a lot.
Some of those traditionalists say that, a golf swing can mess with your baseball swing. Did you feel any of that? Did you, or is that kind of hogwash to you?
That's hogwash. I remember this season, we had a game. It was over spring break. We had a game that night, went over, stayed at a friend's house. We woke up that morning, went golfing, right? Got done golfing, went and played a game, and I played just fine. I didn't feel any different. If your swing is, to the point where going golfing a little bit messes it up, you probably need more repetitions.
It's wrong in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you picked up golf. So I'm interested if there was any other sports that you think you watch or you look at and you say, man, I never got a chance to pick up that sport, but I would really like to throw my hat into that ring.
Honestly, oddly enough, I've always talked about cricket a lot. I've always thought cricket would be cool to play. I know we don't really have that around here, but it's another sport where you can swing and, foul balls are in play there. So, maybe one time I'll go find a way to play cricket.
I sat down and watched cricket once and I was so confused. Have you ever gotten a chance to learn those rules? And
I've watched a couple videos on it, how you have to hit those sticks behind it. And I know you have to run back and forth, but
right.
Other than that, get a little lost.
It's crazy, man. All right, before we let you go, I do want to give you the chance to kind of give a shout out to the people that are in your corner and the people that have always been there supporting you throughout your career. I know you can't do it alone, and I know you have people in your ring. So who do you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
My family, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. My dad's been a coach for a majority of my life. He's always expected more from me than I thought I could get out of myself. My mom's always the one at the other end saying he just pushes me so hard because he wants me to be good and he knows I can be. And my brother, another Sloan in the program, he's been pushing me because he's gotten a lot better. As hard as it is to say it, his brother, he's got a great arm and he's been pushing me to be the best player I could be because I hope I'm pushing him right back.
All right, Billy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We loved having you on. We've loved watching you play throughout the years. We can't wait to continue to cover you throughout your senior season. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll talk again real soon, buddy.
Thank you.
Billy Sloan, the senior and really, really awesome baseball player. One of many great baseball players that Jackson Milton program has. We thank him for his time. What a great interview. that we had with him. If you missed that, or if you missed a part of it, and you want to see it in its entirety, don't worry. There are many ways to kind of see it afterwards. One, this show and every episode that we have is logged on our YouTube page, so you can always go up there and see the show and rewatch the episode and catch Billy's interview there. Two, it will be up on the site, at ASAP is when I'll say. So it'll be it'll be its own piece of content on the site with a little story about Billy and his accomplishments to go along with it. So it'll be on our YouTube page as its own interview as well, if you want to wait a little bit to see that. So if you missed that interview or you missed a part of it and you want to see it, make sure that you stay tuned to our social media pages, you stay tuned to our website, and as always, you can just go to our YouTube page and rewatch this episode of the show as soon as it's done. It gets logged on YouTube. While you're over there, if you feel so kind to, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, hit that notification bell as well, so you never miss a minute of the video action that we put on our YouTube page, whether it be coaches' corners, player profiles like the one we just did with Billy Sloan, post-game interviews, game highlights, so much video content we put on our YouTube page, and we're almost daily. I want to say there aren't too many days where at least one or two videos don't go up on there. The YouTube algorithm can be so weird. It can be so kind of hit and miss. You never want to miss a video, so make sure you hit that notification bell if you subscribe. We love to see you over there, and to give our videos some likes, give our comments, and help grow that YouTube channel for YSN. So that was Billy Sloan. Now we'll go into the recap section of the day, as we had a lot of baseball and softball go on last night in the beautiful weather. It was a little bit less of a sample size than Monday and Tuesday, but still a ton of really good baseball and softball. So let's go over. I'm going to actually bring up our scoreboard if I can here, and I'm going to put this up while I recap. I think this will be a much better way to do this than you guys just looking at me read off scores from my phone. So I think this will really help us as I put up the scoreboard from last night, as I kind of read through these scores and talk about these games. So here we go. We'll start with the game that I was at, of course, like we always do. I was in Howland, the Howland Township Park, for their matchup with Pymatuning Valley, and Howland right now is in a tough week. They have 5 games in 5 days. Starting on Tuesday, they went to Pittsburgh and played one of the best teams in the definitely in the west side of Pennsylvania, over there in Shaler area. They lost to that game 13-4, so they came back home. They're home the rest of the week, but they're playing 5 games in 5 days. Their second game in that stretch was against Pymatuning Valley last night. This game started off as a really good pitcher's duel. Sage Payne from Pymatuning Valley, first chance to see her. Not the velocity that you see from everybody, but that off speed. I'm a firm believer in the fact that if you can change speeds, you don't need velocity. You don't need like the high end velocity. If you're throwing, 55 or somewhere in the low 50s, but then you have a changeup that's in the 40s, that changing speeds will always get an offense off balance. It doesn't matter how fast your fastest is. If your other pitches can change speeds and get people off balance, then you're going to be good to go. And Payne did a really good job of that. Her speeds varied, and I think in the first 3 innings, especially first times in the lineup, Howland was really struggling to kind of time her up in the big situations. They got people on. First 3 innings, Howland was able to get runners in scoring position in every one of those 3 innings. They just weren't able to get that timely hit. It was just kind of one of those days, especially the start, where they struggled at what I call situational softball, right? So being able to just get them on, they got them on, and they got them over. They got them in scoring position. But the last part of that equation is you got to get them in. You got to get that timely hit. And they were kind of lethargic. They couldn't get that timely hit. They even had their big players come up in big situations. They just could not get that timely hit. But then in the top of the 4th, Pymatuning Valley might have woke them up because they got the first run of the game. It was a double by Brooke Gray that scored a run to put the Lakers up 1-0. And then the next time Howland came up, like clockwork, they put runners in scoring position like the first 3 innings. But then out of the 8th spot, struggling so far to hit this season, batting under 200 coming into the yesterday, Jade Fizzette comes up and hits a it was scored a single and advancement on the throw. It could have gone either way. It was a really solid hit into the outfield. But either way, it scored 2 runs. And it got Howland the lead. And what it did is it woke up that offense. And they scored 3 runs in that inning. They scored 3 runs in the 5th inning, 3 runs in the 6th inning, and they were able to win 9-1. But Jade Fazette comes up in the bottom of the lineup, wakes up the offense with an RBI base hit that they desperately needed because they just could not bring runs home in the first 3 innings. She went 2 for 3 on the day with 3 RBI and also a sacrifice ground out that moved runners in the scoring position in one of her bats too. She did such a good job. Talking to Coach Waits after the game, she loves Jade. She loves coaching her. She wishes that she had, her words were, she wishes she had 10 of Jade. The maturity that she talks about Jade having, the ability to come up and be a leader and just kind of take one at bat at a time and focus on doing her job, not focusing on the batting average coming into that night or how much, this first half or the first, I shouldn't even half. We're not even halfway through the season. First 8 games of the season really didn't go the way Jade wanted them to at the plate. She didn't think about any of that. She just went up there and said, I'm going to do my job. And that game, she absolutely did. She came through in the clutch from the 8th spot in the lineup, and you love to see that. You love to see athletes that keep putting the time in, keep doing, trusting the process, and eventually you get results if you do that. Jade was our player of the game. You can catch a post-game interview with her and Coach Waite on our YouTube page and on the story for the game on ysnlive.com. Howland will be back in action again tonight as they welcome in Magnificat. The Blue Streaks coming into Howland, and then they're back in action on Friday against Columbiana, and then they play Crestview on Saturday. All those games are home, but like I said, 5 games in 5 days, a really tough stretch for Howland. I'm interested to see how they come out of it because after that, they have 1 day off on Sunday, and then it's a series with Canfield on Monday and Tuesday. So really important stretch for the Tigers as they get ready for returning to AAC play next week with a really tough part of their schedule here coming up right now. Let's go into some other scores around the area last night. Head over to our scoreboard, which you can see on the screen. And I'm going to go in order. They might not be in the order that is on the screen because I'm reading off our graphics on Instagram. So those are just kind of in the order of which they came in from our announcers. So let's just go over what happened last night. We will start with South Range softball getting the bounce back win in Myrtle Beach 14-4 yesterday after suffering their first loss of the season the night prior in extras. So South Range gets back on track. Canfield baseball yesterday was in a very good game, 11-10. They get the win, walk-off fashion. On the opposite side, Poland gets walked off against North Central, 10-9 final score there. Poland ends their week in Myrtle Beach on a really well-played game. They scored 9 runs, but unfortunately for them, they got walked off. Yesterday, Molina Toth threw a no-hitter as the Cardinals win 3-0 over Kaiser in a great game from Molina Toth. I believe her first no-hitter of the season, but she's been very impressive so far this year. Ursuline won yesterday 11-8 over Bamberg yesterday morning. Fitch won yesterday as well, 4-0. They get 3 RBIs from Tina Montgomery to help them get the win yesterday. Fitch baseball also got the win in Myrtle Beach yesterday, 10-9 final score there. Then we move on to teams that were in Tennessee, and oddly enough, Hoban and Girard both go down to Tennessee, Pitch and Forge, and they end up playing each other. So 2 teams that are separated by 45 minutes, Akron to Girard. They play each other in Tennessee, in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And it was all Hoban 19-0, the final score there. We saw Brookfield baseball beat Badger 18-6, final score. Camel softball, they're on a little bit of a run. They've won 3 of the last 4 games. They beat Sebring 15-0 pretty handily last night. Camel coming off their first MVAC win of the year the day prior. Lakeview baseball got a battle from Struthers, but they stay hot in the inning 8, 11-10. Final score for that one. Lakeside, by the way, on their baseball team, they won 23-0 over Pymatuning Valley. Louisville softball has won 6 in a row. They win over Wadsworth last night, 4-2. Final score there. East Liverpool had a tough stretch of baseball over the week, but man, did they bounce back over on their rivals. 11-1, they beat Beaver Local, a big win for the Potters on rivalry night. Edgewood softball gets the win over Lakeside, 15-1. McKenna Venzel did a wonderful job pitching and hitting in this game. She's starting to have a really good week for the Warriors. LeBray baseball stays hot. They beat Lordstown 18-0. They continue their winning ways. Beaver Local softball avenges the baseball team 12-0, a final score there in that rivalry matchup between the Beavers and the Potters. We saw United. They got the win over Minerva 8-6. The final score on the softball side of things, big win for the Eagles moving forward. Edison baseball lost 11-4 to Martins Ferry. Final score there. West Branch baseball, they get the sweep over Marlington. Both games, one-score games. So they won by a combined 2 runs. This time around, it was 3-2. The final score over the Dukes. That's a big win for West Branch, a big series sweep over Marlington in the EBC. Warriors continue to be undefeated, by the way, in the EBC as well. 14-4, Wellsville gets the win over Lisbon, a big win for them and their baseball program. Softballs, Columbiana got the win 23-1 over Southern Local. They sweep the Indians in that EOAC series. Let's see, Ursuline got the win over East in the Steel Valley Conference, 19-0. Final score there, total domination from the Irish inside the conference. Talking about conference domination, United with a 22-0 win on the baseball field against Latonia. We go to LeBray softball. Riley McDonough, another home run last night, 15-5. They beat Mineral Ridge. Big day for LeBray as baseball and softball both win by sizable margins. Hubbard softball gets the win over Crestview 2-1. Their pitching staff has been really good this week as they went back-to-back with no hitters against Niles on Monday and Tuesday, with Haley Taylor throwing one on Monday, Phoebe Rusnak throwing one on Tuesday, and then on this day, which was Wednesday, they gave up just 1 run to a pretty good Crestview offense that has swung the bats well this year. So 2-1, Hubbard gets the win. They are pitching really well as of late. Boardman sees the lead dissolve again against Riverside. Those dang Beavers, man, their comeback. Or I think a Beaver's a rodent technically, right? I know rodent is kind of like an insult, but I think a beaver's a rodent, if I'm not mistaken. If there's any zoologists out there that can correct me on that if I'm wrong, do tell me. But the point is, Riverside, they came back on Boardman on Monday, then the day off, then Boardman goes to Riverside, and once again they had a 3-1 lead, and it kind of evaporated as Riverside wins 5-3 over the Spartans. Boardman will get back to league play next week. Western Reserve, they beat Salem in a high-scoring affair, 13-8. Hannah Heath had 4 hits on the day, 4 for 4 for her for Western Reserve. Heartland Christian beats Jackson Milton on the baseball field last night, 7-5. Minerva did win 3-2 over Salem. They'll split that EBC series with the Quakers. Both of them really good pitching matchups, as Salem was able to handle Minerva last night. I should say pitching games for Salem. And this time, they pitched well. You don't lose a 3-2 game with bad pitching. And unfortunately for them this time around, Minerva brought the pitchers as well, and they were able to hold Salem to 2 runs in that 3-2 final. Hoban beat Ellett last night on the baseball diamond, 11-2. Final score there for the Knights. Mineral Ridge doubled up East Palestine, 14-7. Final score for that one. We saw Ursuline fall in the nightcap at Myrtle Beach to Anor, 6-1. The final score there for the Irish. Boardman baseball went to Florida. They split their 2 games there. They lost their first game 2-1, and then they won their next game in extras 3-2. So Boardman is 1-1 in Florida during spring break. Warren JFK had a fun night against Cleveland Central Catholic on the softball field. 13-1 final score for that one. Chardon Baseball beat Howland 12-6 final score there. But once again, we talked about their softball team beating Pymatuning Valley 9-1. Badger softball got the win 15-0 over Fairport Harding. And I believe those are your last final scores to come in. Take a breath. That was a long recap of last night's action. As you can find recaps and stories and interviews and all that fun stuff on ysnlive.com. Our content team is constantly working their butts off to get as many stories and recaps up as possible to keep that website looking good. There's me. I'm back. We're going to take a quick break now on Running Point. Right after my face comes back on camera, it's time for a break. Let's go. That's what the universe is telling me. When we come back, we will preview the night ahead and see what we got going on the baseball and softball fields tonight. We'll be right back on Running Point, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers.
From sales to financing and even service,
We'll help build your perfect vehicle.
and lock in your trade value.
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing.
Regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
Our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Change. This one word can make you break out in a cold sweat. But with change comes wisdom, experience, and understanding. At Myers Family Insurance, we can help make changes in Medicare, insurance, and retirement a positive experience for you and your family. We've gone through changes, like our new office and new faces to help our family of clients too.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com or find us on Facebook.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Hi, I'm Colin Chupa. And I'm Kelsey Clem from K-Squared Marketing. Our boutique marketing firm specializes in media planning and buying, public relations, event marketing strategies, and strategic sponsorships. We can integrate our services with your existing game plan, or we can be your entire marketing team. Your goals, our game plan. Let's win together. Call K-Squared Marketing at 330-623-2730 or visit ksquared.marketing to learn more.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Why choose local? Because you live here, work here, learn here, relax here, and celebrate here. 21 WFMJ is our Valley's only locally owned TV station, and our focus is local. Other TV stations don't have that same focus, as their owners are somewhere else. But 21 WFMJ is rooted in the Valley. Local people making decisions that affect your life, right here where you live.
You're looking to your future, preparing for your goals, and they're closer than you think. Because here, success is part of the plan. It's a place where academic and social opportunities are meant to prepare you for life, not just the next 4 years. You'll be equipped to face new challenges and turn hard work into a career. You're ready for your success to take root. And here's where it starts. We are Youngstown State University, and proud.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I'm going to put them in the top right corner so you always know where to go if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle. Head over to Greenwood Chevrolet. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day, and we thank them for their constant support and sponsorship of not just this show, not just Running Point, but everything we're able to do at YSN. We couldn't do it without Greenwood Chevrolet, and we couldn't do it without our other wonderful sponsors, many of whom you just heard from during that commercial break. Let's get to the games that are going to be on the network tonight, and we'll start with the game I'm going to and kind of preview this one a little bit because we have a little bit of time. Brookfield going to Champion going to Brookfield for a big MVAC series. Both teams are undefeated in the MVAC. Both teams have looked really, really good the last several times out. And there's a little bit of bad blood in the line because the last time Champion played on Brookfield won 5-3, and it was a go-ahead 3-run home run hit by Abby DeJoy. They gave Brookfield the 5-3 win the last time these two teams met. That was in Brookfield. Abby DeJoy right now, 6 home runs on the season. We're going to have to see how her power bat does against Gabby Gradishar. Now, I'm interested in this because you know that I've went over the fact that Gradishar's best pitch is a screwball that goes into right-handed hitters, right? But now you have a power hitter in Abby DeJoy that's already hit 6 home runs, and your best pitch is going to break in on her. It's dangerous. Like, she has great control of it, and she doesn't really usually leave it over the plate. But if you do, when that comes to the meaty part of the inside of the plate, to a power right-handed hitter, that is trouble in a hurry if that screwball misses. So that's going to be interesting. It'll be the first time that Gradishar gets to see Brookfield, as she did not pitch for Champion last year because of the injury. So we're going to be the first time to see that matchup. Marina Nicholson, though, did go against against Champion last time out, and Nicholson pitched pretty well in the last meeting. 7 hits given up, 3 runs. Two of those 3 runs were earned. She struck out 5 Champion hitters and walked 1. One of the big players in the day for Champion that day. Only one person had multiple hits, and it was Morgan Davis, who's now hitting second in that Champion lineup. She was 2 for 3 with an RBI. Miranda Nicholson did a really good job with Addie Warzela, 0 for 3 on the day for her. Meyer was 1 for 4. That's a pretty good pitching performance when you can hold her to a 1 for 4 day. Metters was 1 for 3. So yeah, I mean, Nicholson navigated this lineup pretty well last year in their win over Champion. Now, Champion did get the win over Brookfield in Champion. 10-4 was the final score there. So Champion was able to kind of run away with that one. Let's see. I think Metters pitched for Champion. 7 innings pitched, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs. 3 of them were earned. Struck out 5, walked 3. But Nicholson this time around gave up 15 hits, 11 runs, 5 of them earned, walked 4, struck out 2. So a vastly different outing for Nicholson. And the big number of that is the 4 walks to 2 strikeouts. Usually Nicholson is really good at that strikeout to walk ratio, or even keeping her walks down. That's going to be a key to her game today. Cannot give Champion free bases. They are just too good of an offense to give the free base runners to. They're going to find a way to score them. They play small ball well. We know they can hit the long ball. They've hit so many home runs already this year. They have multiple people that can hit the home run, but they do also do a really good job at this fundamental softball on the offensive side. So you give them free base runners, recipe for disaster. So Miranda Nicholson going to have to keep those walks down, but she's done a really good job of that this year. If we look at her stats on Game Changer real quick, I think Brookfield's was public stats. If not, I'll head over to Max Preps real quick. They're public. So we look at Nicholson's pitching stats so far this year. Pitching 48 innings, and you look at her walks. That's what I was really interested in. So far, she's only walked 3 hitters compared to 62 strikeouts on the season. So that is a great strikeout to walk ratio. Her ERA is under 1, 0.266 is her ERA. So, she's just having one of those years where she's really staying away from the walks. Just to put in perspective, she had more walks in that one game against Champion last year than she has all season so far this year. So it's going to be a big matchup. It's going to be a really big matchup. They're going to play 2 games in 2 days. So they'll play at Brookfield today. They'll play at Champion tomorrow. I can't wait to be down there at Brookfield Park. They play at a park in Hubbard. I think it's called Brookfield Township Park. But I can't wait to be down there and see this matchup and see what it kind of entails. I think both teams have players that are really streaking right now and really going up in trajectory. Like I said, Abby DeJoy is right now leading YSN Nation in home runs with 6. No one else has that. She's on the warpath. They've played what? Oops, wrong. Clicked on the wrong team. They played 10 games. So she has 6 home runs in 10 games so far for Abby DeJoy. That's something else. That is something else. Can't wait to see what this matchup entails. I will be there. 5 o'clock is your first pitch live from Brookfield. Let's go over the rest of the matchups that are happening tonight on the baseball and softball side of things. We'll start with baseball, and of course, there were games this morning in Myrtle Beach. Canfield took on Maury, not the talk show host, at 8:30 a.m. Let's see what the score was for that game since it's over now. Let's see. Canfield, they were able to. They lost to the Bluefield. They lost to Bluefield 2-1 was the final score. Nope, I'm on the softball team. I'm sorry, that's my bad. These game changers, softball and baseball, it's like white and light green. Baseball played this morning. They lost 4-3 to Maury. So baseball and softball both with tough 1-run losses to end the week in Myrtle Beach. They both come back on Monday to AAC play. Softball and baseball both playing Howland. But still, very productive weeks for both teams in Myrtle Beach. And all of that competition they played is going to get them so prepared for what they're going to have to face down at the end of the season when we talk about tournament time and who they match up against. So Canfield softball lost today, 2-1. Canfield baseball lost today, 4-3. Final scores for both of those games. Let's see. Take a look at South Range's schedule for the day for baseball and softball. Their softball team won already 12-2 over High Point Christian Academy. So they are officially 4-1 in the 5 games they played in Myrtle Beach. They have one more tomorrow. Excuse me. One more game tomorrow against Vestal. I hope it's Vestal. That's what I'm going to go with. That game will be at 10 a.m. tomorrow from Myrtle Beach. South Range Baseball, I'm on the right one this time, playing right now or getting ready to play. They played at 11 a.m. And we'll definitely report a score when that one comes live. Let's see. Poland Baseball was also in Myrtle Beach. They play at 5 o'clock. Sorry, I was at the wrong one. Actually, they're done. They lost yesterday 10-9, and that was their last game at Myrtle Beach for Poland Baseball. Then we'll just check in on Ursuline real quick. on the softball side of things, Ursuline is playing today against TBD, 2 o'clock. I'm going to check the master schedule. That'll definitely have one. Got to scroll through my pictures, though. Oh, man, life of content director. A lot of graphics on my phone. I should really clean those out one of these days, huh? So the master schedule will go to Thursday for the softball tournament down at Myrtle Beach. It's at the bottom. Let's see. It looks like Ursuline is going to play at 2 o'clock against Vestal, who South Range is going to play tomorrow. So the Raiders are going to be very in tune to that game to see what Ursuline does against Vestal, to see how they can attack them tomorrow. So Ursuline coming up at 2, which is right after our show. So you can go and check them out on Game Changer after our show is done. Let's go over the rest of the games. Let's get back into the local matchups, games that are going on here. Let's see. Cardinal Mooney will be at Columbiana tonight, 5 o'clock first pitch. Joe Eusebio going to be on the call there. Crestview and Struthers will meet at Scene Park. Bob Zanny and the school crew will have the call there for Struthers, 5 o'clock first pitch there. Our ace photographer, Gary Leininger, will also be on scene. Ha! It's a pun. I didn't even mean it. He will be on scene for that one. And you can find great pictures for that game on our Smug Mug later tonight. You can also see tonight United will be playing at Niles. And on that call, it'll be Matt Marr and Jordan. And then let's go into the softball games that are happening today. Obviously, the games at Myrtle Beach. Austintown Fitch playing right now against Elizabeth Seton. South Range already won today. Later tonight, we'll see Campbell at Niles. Brian will have the call there. Jefferson will go to Edgewood. Sam Torres is going to be on the call there. That'll be a 4:30 start time. The Niles-Campbell game is starting at 4. With Brian Champion at Brookfield. Already talked about that one. I'll be there for that. It'll be a 5 o'clock start. Eric Hughes will head to Struthers, where Western Reserve comes to town on that one. Let's go back to baseball and talk about some other games that are happening. Let's see. We have Austintown Fitch versus Princess Anne. That can't be right. Who names a high school that? Quinn's got to be jerking my chain. There's no way there's a high school called Princess Anne. Can you imagine? I'm sorry if it's real and someone from Princess Anne is watching. I don't mean to laugh, but that just really took me off guard. They play tonight at they played to this morning, at 9 a.m. Champion will play at Howland today on the baseball side of things. Cheney will be at Sebring. Kirtland will be at Pymatuning Valley tonight. Lisbon goes to Heartland Christian. Rootstown at Grand Valley. And Warren Harding will go to Newton Falls. There is the one game that is canceled. Jackson Milton was supposed to play Warren JFK today. That game is not happening on the baseball diamond. That was actually supposed to be at Scene Park, I believe. Let's go into some softball games that are happening today later on. We already talked about the ones that are happening in Myrtle Beach. Ursuline happening at 2 o'clock. Cardinal will be at Pymatuning Valley tonight, so the Lakers try to bounce back from their loss to Howland yesterday. West Branch hosts Carrollton and EBC play. 5 o'clock first pitch there. Katy will go to Sebring. Jackson Milton will go to Warren JFK, 5 o'clock. Kenston will be at Garfield. Lowville will be at Latonia. Marlington goes to Salem tonight. Springfield goes to Columbiana. Warren Harding will be at Newton Falls. Mentor goes to Boardman. And Lake goes to Louisville tonight. All those games, 5 o'clock start times. We'll have, after the day's over, we would have had 6 softball games on the network and 4 baseball games on the network as well. That'll do it for today's episode of Running Point. You can head over to ysnlive.com/live for all of the games that'll be on our network to check those out. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Tomorrow we're going to have Coach Roby from Jackson Milton on the show at 1:15 to talk about Jackson Milton baseball a little bit more. And we're going to have some fun with that tomorrow. We'll also recap all the action like we always do and talk about the weekend ahead on Running Point tomorrow from 1 to 2. Don't miss it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Enjoy the great weather. Get out there, watch some baseball, watch some softball. Don't stay inside. There's way too much positive energy. And looking at next week's forecast from Storm Tracker 21, it's not staying. Like next week, we're going back into the 40s, I saw. So soak up the sun while we can. Get out there and support these baseball and softball teams. And then come back with me tomorrow from 1 to 2 on Running Point.